There is a moment that changes everything. It does not arrive loudly. It arrives quietly, in the middle of an ordinary day. And it has the weight of something that has always been true, but that you have only just allowed yourself to see. Nobody is watching. Not your friends, not your family, not the people at the gym, not the strangers on the street. Nobody is sitting in a room somewhere, tracking your progress, noticing your effort, waiting to see if you make it. The man who understands this for the first time really understands it in his body, not just as an idea, has two possible responses. The first response is collapse. The second response is liberation. If no one is watching, you are free. Stay with me, because what I am going to tell you in the next minutes is something most men spend their entire lives trying to figure out and never do. Most men are living inside a cage they built themselves, not from fear of the world, but from the imagined gaze of the world. They make decisions based on what other people will think. They avoid risks because someone might see them fail. They stay in jobs, relationships, cities, identities. Not because those things serve them, but because changing them would require being seen in the middle of the transition. Stay until the end of this video, because in the last 2 minutes I am going to tell you exactly what happens to a man the day he finally stops caring what the audience thinks. Most people will not make it that far. If you are still here, you are already different. Epictetus called it living for the opinion. The man who lives for the opinion is enslaved, not by chains, not by circumstances, but by the imagined judgments of people who are, in most cases, not thinking about him at all. They are thinking about themselves, inside their own cage, wondering what you think of them. The realization hits differently for every man. For some, it arrives in a moment of public failure. They expected the world to collapse around their embarrassment and discovered that within 24 hours, no one was talking about it anymore. However it arrives, when it arrives fully, it does not feel like defeat. It feels like the ground disappearing, and then it feels like flying, the gift of complete permission. To do what you're actually here to do, without asking anyone's permission to do it. Here is what the Stoics observed about the man who reaches this realization and chooses liberation over collapse. He becomes dangerous, not in a violent sense, in the sense of a man who can no longer be managed by the tools that manage most men. He cannot be kept in place by the fear of judgment. He cannot be kept small by the risk of public failure. He cannot be kept comfortable by the approval of people around him. If you are still watching, subscribe right now, because what we are building on this channel is for exactly this kind of man. Hit the button and stay with us. Here is the distinction that most people miss. There are two kinds of not caring. The first is the not caring of the man who has given up, who uses the absence of an audience as permission to stop. This is not liberation. This is collapse dressed as philosophy. The second is the not caring of the man who has removed the wrong motivation and replaced it with the right one. Internal direction. Removing the audience does not mean removing the standard. It means raising it, because now the standard is no longer what other people can see. It is what you know, the private standard, the one that exists only between you and the man you are becoming. Building in silence at its deepest level means this: building without an audience, The man who trains at 5 in the morning when no one will see it is not building for the 5 a.m. He is building for the decade. Most people click away right here. They are not ready for what comes next. If you are still here, you are the man this channel is built for. Stay for 2 more minutes. The Greeks had a concept called eudaimonia. Not the pleasure of being seen, not the satisfaction of approval, the deep, private, bone-level rightness of a man who is doing exactly what he is here to do. In the dark, without applause. Because the work itself is the point. The day arrives differently for every man, but when it arrives, you know it. It is the day you wake up and the first thought is not, what will people think? It is, what am I building today? The anxiety that came from imagining the audience, gone. The hesitation that came from fearing their judgment, gone. The performance that was costing you energy, gone. What remains is something clean. Direction. His operating system has changed. He no longer runs on external validation. He runs on internal direction. And internal direction, once it is fully activated, does not turn off. It compounds. Until one day, the distinction between the private man and the public man disappears. Because he is the same man in both places. Consistent, directed, unmanageable by the usual tools. That man is dangerous, in the best possible sense of that word. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Most men realize this intellectually. Very few realize it completely. If this video reached something in you, subscribe. Because this channel exists for the men who are serious about becoming who they are supposed to be. New video every week. Hit the bell. Stay with us. The world will notice eventually. Not because you performed for it, because you built something real while everyone else was waiting for the audience to arrive. The audience was never coming. It was never there. And the day you realize that, you become dangerous. Stay cold. Keep building.